Hey everybody, welcome to Kate Space, welcome to my channel. I am going to cover this book. Now, I saw some stuff on YouTube and Instagram, people making these stamp folios, and I was like, oh, I'd like to make one of those, but I always kind of veer away from doing ephemera folders because I just really struggle to get the plastic and or vellum or whatever you use straight and to sew it in properly and stuff like that. But then I sort of started looking at this ugly piece of book. It had the sticky plastic on it, which I've taken off, and now this is all sticky. And I actually, to be honest, started taking it apart and thinking, oh, I can make one. And then I just thought, why make work for yourself? You've got something perfectly good here, although it's probably not as good as it was before I started trying to take it apart. Why not just cover it and use this? So I did. I took all, I've ripped out all the, you know, the sheets they have in between the, it's glassine or whatever to protect the stamps. Well, the point is I don't really need to protect my stamps. I'm not a stamp collector. I'm not collecting them. I've got too many. I want to use them. So I took all that out because I thought I might try tea dyeing that and making some envelopes with it. And then I took some of the tape off these pages to sort of start taking it apart, and I reattached that. I don't know whereabouts that is. Might be able to tell as we go through. No? Not too bad. So that's what I'm going to do, and I thought I'd turn on my camera and you can hang out with me while we do it. So if you've got a stamp album or you find one at the thrift store, they do tend to be a bit ugly. So find some fabric you like and just cover it. So that's what I'm going to do. It's already sticky, so that's kind of helpful. And I'm just going to do it very basically, nothing fancy. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just use PVA. I'm going to try not to use too much because obviously I don't want it leaking through. So I'm going to put some in a dish and use a brush. So this will be much nicer, I think. A brush. Here we go, this will do. And just try not to put too much on. Like I said, it's already sticky. But try and give it a bit of a thin coating. We don't want those lumps either, do we? So that the fabric sticks without any air, you know, any bubbles, any lifting. But also the glue doesn't come through. Okay, so I haven't put anywhere near enough in my dish. I always get a bit nervous about glue. So that little corner is all floppy, but that's okay. Right, we'll just have to keep adding it to our dish. How is everybody today? I hope you're all well. Getting some crafting done. Being creative, making some things. These are my little procrastination projects while I have journals sitting there waiting to be finished, and I'm like, oh, so naughty. Anyway, this will be good. This is such an ugly looking book, so at least now the outside will look pretty. And I might even put some pretty end papers or something in there. Why not? So I'm just not sure if I've got enough glue there in the middle and on the edge. That's pretty tacky. Alright, I think we're pretty well covered, and I hope everything's going to stick. So let's just, oopsie, so just go like that. Actually, I'm all over the place, sorry. I'm going to lay my fabric down. I'm going to just sort of try and center it how I want it there. Yeah, I think that's pretty straight. And then, yeah, good. Smooth it all out. This is one of my favourite fabrics actually. I have a feeling that I've done it upside down. Haven't I? Do you think that's upside down? Do you think it looks... Oh no. It's staying that way anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So that's that front bit done. So I'm going to flip it over so that you can see okay. It's quite big, and I've tried to push my camera as far away as I can from my desk so that you can see. Right, so I'm just going to do the spine bit. There we go. I'll wrap the spine up and around. Should go like that. Had this fabric for a while. Like I said just now, it's one of my favorites. I have done a journal out of it, and also I've got this that I covered years ago. This is just a really old, as you can see, ring bound photo album. You can see I've used just scrapbooking paper that started to crack, but in here, and it had all these kind of old plasticky sheets in it. I mean, it's not fancy, but this is where I keep quite a lot of my old photos, not all of them. And so, yeah, I've been trying to remember that's there and to use it. So the spine is nice, and then lie it down flat there. And then start back. So nothing fancy, just covered in fabric. I didn't want to, I started looking at doilies and all that kind of carry on, and then I just thought, no, keep it simple. Okay, now one thing I do need to do is go and get some water, so I'll do that now. Right. So that looks better already, I think. Just have to remember where the front is, which I think is that way, yep. So now I want to turn in my in bits in here. I guess the tricky part is, are we going to cut it and try and tuck it in there? Yes, I am going to try and do that. So that could be fun. So yeah, I want to tuck those bits in. I want to tuck it in that way. Can you see that? Sorry, I know it's quite hard to see, isn't it? But I'm going to try and cut it and see what happens. There. So you almost need to do a little bit of a V, I think. Take a little bit of a V out of there. So we're still going to have a bit of a raw edge around there, but I don't think it matters too much at this stage. So let's see if we can tuck this up in here. And fold this up here. Okay, so my V probably should have gone the other way, should have gone this way maybe. because most of the books I cover are normally gutted, so they don't have their pages in. But I think that's all right. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of a raw edge there, but it's not too bad. And probably a little bit of a raw edge there. That's okay, so I'm going to do the other end. A bit more fabric here. And then take a little triangle out. And then the other side. Ooh, that's quite a lot. I'll soon find out if that's a bit much. That down into there. Right, I'm just going to glue it. Am I going to glue it, or am I going to glue these bits first? I'm going to do my corners. I think I'm going to try and rip a little bit off here because it's too much. And then I'm just going to go sort of across there and at an angle, and then that way. And this will tear. There. Okay, and the same at this corner. Sort of in at an angle and then back out that way. Right, more glue. Get my brush. And put glue down here. It doesn't matter if the glue seeps through this part of the fabric, because I'm probably going to put some pretty papers or nice book page or something down to cover that up, I think. So right, I'm gluing it. Can you see there? Putting that down, and then I probably should have, I needed a bit more fabric there because that corner's bent up, so I didn't notice that. Don't know if you can see what I've done there. It's a little bit, it's going to be a little bit there. Oh well, we will have to work that out at the time. We might have to put some corners or something on there, some metal corners. That could work. So bring this over. Be the same as well. Never mind. Okay, and then we'll do this side. Let's put some glue on the fabric so it doesn't fray. Anyway. Going to be a little bit of a problem. Never mind. I'm sure we'll be able to come up with some way of doing that. I'll have to be careful on the next one to realise that those corners, because they're bent up, I went a bit close. Went a bit close to where I should. With the fabric, I needed a little bit more fabric there. That's okay. It's still going to look nicer than it did. try and do a better job on this one when we cut it. So there we go, there's our corner. See how they're bent up, so that's a bit deceptive of how close. So I'm not going to go as close with this one, a bit more. And let's see if we've got that one right. When you're working with old things, that it's difficult to make things absolutely perfect, and some people are better at really precise, perfect sort of things than others, as we know. So you just accept that some things are not your strength. And go with it. I'll just be happy not to be looking at this ugly book whenever I get stamps that I want to use, when I want to use stamps. So see, now I can tuck that under, and I'm going to end up with a much neater corner on this one, so that's good. Probably isn't the front though, is it? Is it the back? Oh, it is the front, yay! That's good, so the front's in a better corner than the back. That's what we want, isn't it? So my cat's been coming in and sitting on my chair. It's still to be upholstered. So that's good. That's what I kind of wanted him to come and keep me company. He doesn't stay long though. He's not in here now. He was. Right, so let's just tuck this little bit of fabric under. Those corners are very soggy. You know, when you get the really soggy, broken down cardboard corners, that's what that's like. Okay, so that's those bits done. Yeah, I think actually it's going to have corner ends on it anyway, because the corners are so damaged. Right, and now I'm going to stuff these endy bits in. I'm just going to put glue on them and try and shove them in. See how we go with that. I don't think they'll come out, so I'm going to use, what shall I use to shove them in with my scissors maybe? Just push them in like that. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing actually. Sorry, because it's, I can't see what I'm doing either. So push the fabric right in there. Try and lie it flat against the inside of that spine, but oh yeah, I can get my thumb in. Don't know if I can get it out again though. There we go. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad. Okay, and this one's already been tucked in, so I'm going to take that out. A bit more glue. Put it on the fabric. And do the same again. Can you see? Yep, I'm just shoving it in there. That's all I'm doing. There we go. What have we got? Oh, that's the back. So I think what we might need, now this looks like this, we might need something so we can sort of maybe see from the spine which way is up and what is the front. I'm definitely going to put some corners on it, so I'm going to go and grab those now. And I just might use a book label, but whether I put a little one on here as well that says stamps, so we know which way up it goes. Okay, let's have a look. What do we want to put on these? Something really protective that's going to protect the inside and the outside. They don't need to be too fancy, I just want them to be, yeah, see, these will be good. They've got good coverage. Yeah, I think these ones, looks like I've been playing with alcohol inks or something with those. Let's have a look. I've got these rose gold ones as well. These are quite pretty, but I think I'm just going to go with these silver ones. But I think they have had, yeah, I think I have been playing with alcohol ink. I might use these because they look a bit more worn. And just force that under there. Just open them up a little bit. I can usually do this. I don't have any of my pliers anymore. I think that'll work. Squash them in like that. Probably need the papers on first though, don't I? Okay, so we need to choose some end papers. So I'm going to use those. What would I like for end papers? I need something that's quite robust, I think. How about these? They're quite white, but I don't think that matters. I'm not going to bother. I don't want to try and tea dye them. Here we go. They're a pretty good size, aren't they? I like this. Just need to trim off this edge a bit. Add about there. So I'll just mark it with a pencil. So I want that to go there. Maybe I need to take a little bit more off. I need to take some off the top anyway. So I'm going to take some off here. That looks nice there. And then another one for the back. Almost all falling out already, so let's use that one. Again, I'm going to mark it there and there. I think it'd almost look great if it was small, you know, you could actually have some nice book page behind it, but I think I'll leave it just plain like that. Okay, so now we have to get the glue on it. I might ink around the edges just to give it a bit of a darker thing around the back, around the edge I mean, sorry. Good to use these. They're so big and I don't like, it's nice to be able to use them whole like that rather than maybe folding them for pages or something like that. Oh, really good coverage of glue, so I'm wondering whether I use wet glue or what's going to spread well. Might try this. It's very spready, so it's very runny. This is the collal glue that I'm still not sure if I like or not, but this would be a good thing to experiment with, because if it lifts I can fix it myself. It's not going out to anybody. So let's just spread this around as best we can, so we've got really good coverage. And I'm presuming since it's acetone based it's not going to warp the paper. Oh, certainly making the ink run there, as we can see. Ooh, strong smelling. Just want it right to the edges, especially in the middle as well. I don't want any bits lifting. I guess the thing with the edges, you can get glue under there, but if it lifts in the center you're a bit screwed. Ooh. A bit more to the edges. Ooh, it is very gluey. Let's see. I've got some on the front, so I'm hoping that's going to rub off. It's a big book. Big book to try and work with. Right, let's see. Oh no, we have smudged it there. Interesting. Okay. Let's see if we can get that off with our rubber, glue rubber. So far so good. Just want to lift that up. Yep, sort of lifting here. And then we have, I just need to see what I do with the corners. Oh, they're under here. So I'm just going to open them up with my hands. I'd probably use pliers or something if I had them. I want that to really fit onto that squidgy corner that we've got going on here. And I want the paper to get caught underneath there as well. Right, I think that's good. But what I want to do is actually put some art glitter glue in there. So I'm just going to put some art glitter glue in my corner protector. I find that works well. And then just ease it on here, tucking the fabric and the inside papers under that edge as best I can. That's it. And then I'm just going to squidge them down with my hand because that's all I've got. Well, I could use the brush, the paint brush, I guess. There we go. Yep, I think that's good. Let's do the other one. Make sure we've got it around the right way. So, well, this one goes on much easier, I think. Does it? Yeah, those corners are really soft. Well, hopefully it'll be all right. Very good. Alright, so there's those corners. Right, now let's try and make less of a mess for this one, if we can. Yeah, I'm just not sure how I feel about this collal glue, but it was worth a try because we can't get the beacons 2-in-1 or any of the beacons glues here in New Zealand, and everyone uses them, so you kind of feel like, oh well, maybe I should be using them too. But actually, if you've got something that works, I guess if it's water-based, it's water-based. There's just nothing you can really do about that. You just have to use different techniques and allow for different drying times and things like that. Right, I'm going to try this and hope I can get it on a bit straighter than the front one. That's pretty good. A bit of glue smudged over. I mean, that is a good thing about this glue. It does rub off. That's something in its favour. So if you do smudge it, it seems to rub off very easily. Even just with your fingers, actually. Not even with the, whoops, sorry, the glue rubber. There we go. Let's try our corners with our art glitter glue in there. Hopefully they'll stay. So these corners are probably worse off than the front ones. Press those in nice and tight. Hopefully they won't go anywhere. And this one, haven't really had much success using the alcohol inks on metal. These were obviously in a bit of an experiment to try and make them look maybe rusty. I'm not sure, but anyway, I obviously wasn't happy because I didn't use them. Right, squish those back down. So they'd probably stay on without glue, but the glue just gives them a little bit of extra staying power, I reckon, I think. There we go. And then, yeah, so we've got a bit of fraying happening up on the top here, which is a shame. I can try and see if I can glue that down. Just hold it with my fingers. I have to do a bit of repair, bit of work on that. But it certainly looks, I think it looks nicer than it did. So I think it's still worth it, even though it's you know, it's not perfect here where I've put those in. And I think I'm going to put something prettier here, like maybe some old book page, I think, on this. Or I could take it out. I'm just a bit worried about what might happen if I take it out. So really it's just a matter of, now I forgot, what I did forget was if I was going to put a book plate on the front. I've already put my end papers on, so that's not an option now unless I glue something on. But I wonder if I've got anything small that I can stick on here. I did have something. I had this, but I think it's too big. It is. That's too big. So yeah, we'll have to think about that as well. But anyway, there we go. We've covered a very ugly stamp album up. So I haven't made my own. but I have recycled something that I thought I was going to, yeah, you can see I've restuck that page and thought that's one of the ones I took out. Yeah, I've renovated something. Really glad you stuck around and hung out with me, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you've got an old book that you're thinking, oh, it's just so ugly, but you could still use it for storing things in, then yeah, grab some fabric and go for it, because it certainly improves the look of that. Okay, cool. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon in the next video. Bye, guys.